This again is another example. There's this constant clash between religion and culture. This is another place where this comes about. Religion is saying one thing, and we'll bring one hadith that shows something very, very strong about this issue. But culture says, don't talk about it. You're not allowed to talk about everything that we said. So there's the difference here again between religion and culture. Culture says that for boys to do zina, for boys to be fulfilling their desires in a way that is haram, that is acceptable, that is celebrated. That's what it means to be a man. If we come now to say that no real masculinity from an Islamic perspective, because we obviously have the red pill and we have all these different ideologies now. From the Islamic perspective, this is true that isn't masculinity. That is not masculinity.
Yeah, because also it's when it comes to that kind of casual sex, let's say, it's you're treating the other person casually, and you have basically, you're absolving yourself of any real responsibility, and that's the point. That you're meant to be in that sort of a relationship with a person that you are responsible for, so you don't just use and abuse them and throw them away. And that's protecting all of society at large. Why? So especially anyone, men or women, they're not treated casually. They're not treated like, we're talking about the objectification of women, that women aren't treated like objects. That if you are going to have a physical relationship with a woman, you must, according to Islam, you must marry them. And you must take on all responsibilities, all physical, mental, financial responsibilities as a man. And only then are you allowed, from an Islamic perspective, to have a physical relationship with that woman. And that's but you were talking about, you're talking about the double standards, basically. It's one thing I wanted to say is that, that kind of the playboy lifestyle, let's say, it's encouraged in these countries. Let's talk specifically about Pakistan. I remember, again, I'll try to be as general as possible, but it's worth bringing this up, a real life scenario. Recently, when in Pakistan, I actually heard this as, thrown to a certain someone as an insult.
Oh yeah, as a dig,
Yeah, this was the insult. The insult was to a woman, and it was actually about her sons, right? The insult to this woman was that your sons don't even have the ability to find a woman to do zina with. So your sons don't even have the ability to find a woman to perform adultery or fornication with.
Yeah.
And I was very confused.
It might seem like we're cherry picking examples, but this ideology is
this idea is common.
This is
and it was a very confusing kind of a thing, because basically, you are, from a societal perspective, you're being punished for wanting to be responsible, not wanting to be reckless, not to use women as objects, and you're basically you're being made fun of because you don't want to fornicate, you don't want to use women casually and just as objects, and you actually want to be responsible for them, and you want to do it in a way which is religiously responsible and responsible just from a basic human perspective.
Right.
But those people are being abused because that's not the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
The cool thing to do is to use women casually and sleep with as many women as possible.
Right. Just to clarify a point there, and we'll discuss these issues in more detail when we talk about masculinity and the red pill a little more. But I would assume that the perspective that this person was coming from was that Islamically they don't allow this for themselves. From that perspective, but they can't do it because they don't allow it for themselves Islamically. What would be perhaps this would be
actually, let me just interrupt before, because there's this gonna the point. Basically, the dig wasn't that you're so unattractive. That wasn't the dig. Right. The dig wasn't that you're so unattractive you can't attract any female.
Yes.
Because that is a dig, and you should feel that, by the way, because you should make yourself as attractive as possible as a man, as a woman too. Personality perspective, physically, everything, mentally. Right. That wasn't the dig.
The issue is morally you're not allowed this for
yourself. The dig was basically that you're incapable of doing it because because you're so religious, and that you can't even find a woman to use and abuse in that sense.
Right.
It wasn't like you're not physically attractive enough or mentally attractive enough.
Grant, I just wanted to clarify
No, that was the point.
And we'll go into more detail about what you mentioned there in another podcast.